By the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jay Cohn.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. Billings voters tonight will pare down the candidates to lead the city the next 4 years.
That's right. It is primary day here in the Magic City. We could be on track for a record turnout as voters decide which candidates will advance on to the general election coming up in November.
Q2's Dustin Kleeman will follow those results tonight and joins us in studio now with more on what to expect. Dustin.
Good evening, Jay and Jeanelle. So far, nearly 24,000 ballots have been cast, with last-minute entries likely to be submitted before the 8 p.m. deadline. With city council candidates and a mayor race, election officials are happy with the participation, and the county began counting ballots at 10 this morning. Tonight's primary will see 2 candidates in each race move on to the general election. And as far as turnout is concerned, there are significant factors pushing returns.
I'm really impressed with the turnout. Mail ballot has a lot to do with it. And we've had a lot of money spent too, which is very unusual for a municipal primary. I think all the billboards, the yard signs are really reminding people to turn their ballot in.
I'll remind you one more time, deadline is 8 p.m. at the county courthouse for ballot returns. We'll have the very latest online at ktvq.com. You can also download the Q2 News app for free for those results. Be sure to tune in at 10 as we hear from the 2 mayor candidates selected tonight. Jay and Jeanelle.
All right. Thanks so much, Dustin.
Montana's former Republican House Majority Leader pleads guilty today to federal drug charges.
The former Billings lawmaker, who served for 5 years before he was ousted, was not offered a plea deal. Q2's Asia Gore has been following this story and joins us now with more. Asia.
Jay and Jeanelle, prosecutors revealed at today's hearing that former Representative Michael Lang told investigators he brought at least 20 pounds of methamphetamine to Montana. 56-year-old Lang pleaded guilty in U.S. District Court in Billings to 1 count of possession of meth and 1 count of conspiring to distribute the drug. He was booted from the state legislature in 2007 after his profanity-laced outburst against Governor Brian Schweitzer. There is no plea agreement in this case. The charges each carry a mandatory minimum of 10 years in prison. Federal agents learned during a 2016 drug bust in Wyoming that Lang was the major distributor for some smaller dealers caught in that sting. The FBI raided Lang's home and found nearly 3 pounds of meth, a pound of cocaine, and $27,000 in cash. Lang admitted he obtained 20 pounds of meth from his accomplice. A sentencing date has yet to be set. Jeanelle?
All right. Thank you very much, Asia.
President Donald Trump is expected to take his push for tax reform on the road over the next 2 months, and Montana can expect a visit. That's
right. A report from Bloomberg today says the president will visit 13 states over the next 7 weeks, including a stop in Montana. The president wants to visit states that he won during last year's presidential election, and also states where a Democratic senator is up for re-election next year.
Now, Trump won Montana by 20 points, and Democratic Senator Jon Tester is up for re-election next year. No timetable for the president's trips have been announced.
Montana's 2018 U.S. Senate race already has a half-dozen candidates, or perhaps we should say potential candidates. One of them says he is still exploring whether to run. But as MTN's Mike Dennison reports now, State District Judge Russell Fagg of Billings sounds very much like he's in.
Russell Fagg says he hasn't decided whether he'll become one of several Republicans hoping to challenge Democratic incumbent Senator Jon Tester next year. But he's been traveling the state, speaking to groups, and touting endorsements from prominent Republicans.
And at this point, I've had tremendous encouragement. I picked up the support of Governor Roscoe, Governor Martz, Governor Stevens, Congressman Rehberg, and Congressman Hill, should I decide to run, which really makes the decision a lot easier. But I'm not 100% there yet.
Fagg is stepping down from his judge post on October 13th. After that, he says he'll announce whether he's a candidate. If he does, he'd be the 5th Republican to get into the race, joining State Auditor Matt Rosendale, State Senator Al Olszewski of Kalispell, and businessman Troy Downing of Big Sky, and Ron Murray of Belgrade. Fagg formed an exploratory committee this summer. State Democrats have criticized Fagg for running a shadow campaign while he's a sitting judge and suggest that's unethical. But Fagg notes that the State Judicial Standards Commission reviewed his actions and found nothing wrong.
That's perfectly ethical, legal, moral, it's right. It's okay to raise some money to travel to the state and talk to people, do some polling and some things like that. That's basically what I'm doing.
He's also telling people why he'd be the best Republican to take on Tester.
I'm a 4th-generation Montanan. I've been a judge for 22 years. I've been in the Montana legislature. I'm center right. Being from Yellowstone County is a huge help because there's a big portion of the votes here So for all of those reasons, I think I would have the best shot of all the candidates should I decide to run against Senator Tester.
But if Judge Fags does decide to get into this contest, he'll still face a very competitive primary for the Republican nomination. Tomorrow, we'll take a look at how that race is already well underway. In Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Thank you very much, Mike. The Republican primary election, by the way, is still some 9 months away.
The Billings Heights Bank, damaged by fire back in March, will be rebuilt. 6 months after flames tore through the First Interstate Bank, the company announced plans are underway to completely replace the old building. While the outside of the building looks relatively unscathed after the fire, the inside sustained severe smoke damage. Demolition of the existing building will begin later this month, and a new 7,000 square foot branch built in its place. The new building will open for business next year.
I was the president of the Heights Bank for 5 years. I love being a part of the Heights Bank and the Heights community. And it was a hard day to see that it was damaged in a fire for me personally. But I am so excited about the idea that we've made the decision to build a brand new bank here.
Now, clients will be able to conduct business as usual throughout the construction process, as the temporary banking facility and drive-up lanes will remain open.
On the wildfire front tonight, the Blacktail Fire north of Livingston has now blackened 500 acres as firefighters there struggle against windy, dry conditions.
65 firefighters are on the lightning-sparked blaze tonight. Smoke jumpers and a helicopter are available for aid, but fire officials say they'll only engage once it's safe.
As of now, no structures are being threatened by the Blacktail Fire.
Well, as fires continue to ravage Montana, a number of Made in Montana businesses are coming together to help raise money to help. Among them,
Live Life Clothing of Helena. The company has created 2 fire relief themed shirts and is donating half of its sales to the Stockman's Bank Fund. Stockman's is going to match up to $10,000 in donations. Owner Sadie Floating says she started selling the shirts in early August, and the response has been great in the state and across the U.S.
It's been great. We're really new. We've only been in business a little bit over a year, so we're not as big as some of the other companies, and so it's great to see the reaction. Not only Montana, but we have customers from all around the United States who have been purchasing shirts. We've had wholesale stores contact us wanting the fire relief shirts to be a part of it, so the reaction has been amazing.
It's been amazing to see our members stepping up, donating time, money, resources, creating products, really helping out in any way they can. It goes to show the authenticity not only of the products and the businesses, but of the character of our members as well. So we're really proud to see that.
Now you can also take part in the MTN Wildfire Relief Fund by visiting our website, ktvq.com.
Already, Montanans have stepped up to raise more than $36,000 on the MTN Relief Fund, that in just one day. And our parent company will be matching the first $50,000 donated. In other news tonight, a fatal crash north of Billings claimed the life of an elderly Montana man this morning. The victim, identified as 76-year-old Walter Williamson of Lewistown. That crash happened around 6:45 a.m. along U.S. Highway 87 between Billings and Roundup. Montana Highway Patrol reports Williamson was southbound in a van when he drifted off the right side of the road. He overcorrected and drove across the traffic lanes, causing the van to roll. The victim died at the scene. No one else was involved in the crash. In addition to flexing their mental muscles, the students at Park County High School in Livingston will soon be working out with state-of-the-art equipment in a brand new weight room. The students submitted this video last year to the Lift Life competition. It's put on by bodybuilding.com. Hundreds of other schools applied for the grants, which aim to help improve students' physical and mental fitness. Park High School recently learned that it won one of the grants valued at more than $300,000. The school's athletic director, Regina Wood, tells us while much of their school was recently renovated thanks to a voter-approved bond, the weight room hasn't changed since the mid-90s. Wood says this is something for all students to celebrate.
It's also such an important part of our culture and just our overall, health and lifestyle that we want to promote. So I think to have this be a piece that the kids can be super proud of is just such a cool opportunity that I just never thought we would we would qualify for.
Very cool. The makeover at Park County High School gets underway at the end of this month and is expected to take about 10 days to complete. A ribbon cutting ceremony has been set for the 6th of October.
That's pretty fun.
That is.
Still to come on tonight's 5:30 News, a battle between Mother Nature and new mothers during Hurricane Irma. Tonight, we hear from a former Billings nurse in a Florida NICU.
And coming up in sports, we head to Bridger for Q2's Athletes of the Week. It's a football family affair.
And coming up in weather, we got into the low 90s today. Now tonight, we are expecting to see those temperatures to begin to fall, and they're going to fall pretty far. And in fact, later on this week, look for rain and plains and basically snow up in the mountains. We'll tell you all about it coming up in a few more minutes.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Jeanelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire and sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.